PowerUpGames.
Is this the one from Smash Bros?
No, you don't see any of the bats in the game.
You just generally have them.
You just generally have them. So the bats are like, it's just like it's like you're like, oh, I have the frying pan, but you don't see the frying pan ever being swung. It's just there.
I'm surprised they wouldn't get, like in Pokemon, they'll give you a sprite at least when you check your bag of items. Can you even do that in this game?
I mean, you can check your items, but there's nothing there. It just says
Oh,
cookie
yeah,
or
yeah.
hamburger. You don't get a
Probably
picture of
because there's a bunch more stuff in this compared to Pokemon. I feel like it's kind of like iterations of the same thing.
that. Gosh, yeah, maybe, but I feel like this is more like the idea of like, can I do anything? I can move life up. You don't even have
This
any.
came significantly after Pokemon, didn't it?
No, it was a year before. This came out in '95.
Really?
Pokemon came out in '96, I believe.
Oh, you know, for a second I was gonna say that I thought Pokemon was like the first
No.
RPG of this type, but then I remembered that.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. I was thinking of Legend of Zelda was the first of its type.
No. Oh gosh, I gotta heal.
But Pokemon was later on.
I'll eat a hamburger.
Shows what I know in
No.
general
Shit.
timescales. Horrible general timescales. History, suck at history dates. Honestly, I didn't even know what today was for a long time.
Yeah.
Date-wise, I still don't know what it is. I'd have to check
Today's
it out.
April 9th.
Nope, April 8th.
Well, tomorrow's my birthday. That's what I meant to say, because tomorrow's my birthday.
Oh, you thought it was later?
Oh, that was later. Damn it.
Getting technical on me. Not 12 yet, Josh. Not 12 yet.
I want to buy some burgers so I don't freaking
But
die.
if she's not 12 yet, I'd still do her. You know what they say.
Don't say.
Age is on the clock.
I'm not taking part in this. I have nothing to do with this.
Oh man, maybe one episode I should just go through the insane amount of jokes on my joke page, but
I have the same amount of jokes
they might be X-rated for some of these. I'd have to find a separate joke page or like dumb one down. They get a little much. Dark humor.
I love dark humor though.
Dark humor and anti-humor
Okay,
jokes.
speaking of freaking dark humor,
Yeah.
your freaking house is lit up like a Christmas tree right now. Usually your house is darker than my soul.
It is kind of weird. I've been the only one home, and it honestly was like, for some reason, because I'm the only one home, typically, if it's an average day and I know everyone's gonna be back eventually, I will have all the lights off and I just walk around. And don't ask me why, it's just kind of like, that's what I do. But today I had them nearly all on, mainly because I'm lazy, but also because we have John and Justice playing Smash Bros. And so it was kind of like, I'm just gonna leave the lights on.
If you
Other
don't get-
people just trip on stuff in my house.
Yeah, you freaking ran into the bench.
Yeah, I moved a bench so that my dogs could sit next to me while I remade the intro for this show because they were freaking out. But I just literally ran straight into it, hit myself pretty much in the nards. But there is a true story to why it's always dark, and that goes, I have a younger sister who I believe we've mentioned on the show, but her name is Jade, and I spent the good portion of my life being the older sibling as I was. Sure, you could call it that. Similar to Josh had a upper hand on her in our church organization.
Wait, what?
Yeah, for like a little bit. In fact, that's the only way you really know her besides just coming
Oh
over.
yeah, that's true.
But so anyway, as all young kids, I was at one point afraid of the dark, so that was not like a comfortable thing. You did the whole thing. Did you ever do the thing as a kid where you like turn off your light? But my light, and I've had 2 rooms, this is second my house, right? But both of them were set up the same to where my light switch and my bed were opposite corners of the room. So I'd like barely reach out one arm, turn off the light switch, and then run, sprint, and jump into my bed, go into my covers, all like as fast as you can. But I was like generally afraid of the dark, but I could handle it at pretty much any age. My sister is terrified of the dark, and still is. I mean, she's still afraid of the dark. She's a senior or junior, I don't know. I'm not too savvy on this, like I said, in times, but she's somewhere in the later high school and still is slightly afraid of the dark, which is already funny to me. But at one point, I literally every single day, multiple times through the day, would try and scare my sister, like really hardcore. And then it kind of like I'd spill over and scare my mom, scare anyone. And so I'd just hide behind doors, do whatever. And I realized because Jade's afraid of the dark, it'd be amazing if I could scare her during the dark. So I was like, I just trained myself. Then and there, I was like, probably took me like 3 days to completely just be not afraid of the dark anymore. Because I was just dedicated. The couch we're sitting on, I would crawl from my room, like army crawl, go behind the couch, and just like pop up screaming Bloody Mary and whatever.
Why?
And so
were a strange child.
I was. Well, I was really mad because I'd be playing video games on the TV, obviously, and when she took it, it was like hours until I could have it back. And so I had to somehow get it back. So I trained myself not to care about the dark so that I could scare people. Now, the unfortunate part is I always walk around in the dark, and no matter how unafraid of the dark you get, our house was robbed when I was in 8th grade.
Oh,
I
God.
probably stopped being afraid of the dark in like 6th grade. So this is a 2-year turnaround. I'm getting pretty used to it, but our house was robbed. And I remember like the cop directly telling me right as before he leaves, he's like, also you probably guys want to just check, because we were only gone for like an hour. We went to pizza, maybe 2 hours as a family. And the cop was like, you might want to do a double check that someone's not currently in the house, maybe under a bed or something. And I was like, why are you telling me this?
Why would he check?
I don't know. They were in the house. They're like, yeah, we didn't see anything, but you know, it's very possible. Like sometimes people don't escape and they stay in the house and then they'll escape later. And I was just like terrified of this as a kid. But I was still in my mode of,
Why can't I run away?
I just live in the dark. So I had all the lights off and I'm walking through the hallway, but now I'm just like terrified that this dude's gonna like pop up from under my bed and just like, you ever heard of the Achilles cutters?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, Brandon always talks about that. I was thinking of that kind of stuff.
So the Achilles cutter, when I first got my car, I checked under my car every time at night. I kid you not. I know it was like, this is the stupidest thing ever, but I freaking checked under my car.
You know Ashley from B-Wings?
No, but
She's been over to Michael's a couple times. She might have been at Samuel's. But I just told her about that not too long ago. I think it was her. It was either her or this other girl whose name escapes me. But I just told them, and like, they literally, whoever it is, sorry that I can't remember, literally like jumps to check under their car every single time now, and it's so funny. Because you don't remember about it until you're about to go to your car, and then you freak out. You want to explain what they are?
So basically the Achilles cutter is someone who's going to hide under your car, and they either do it before or after you get in your car. But like, so they do it afterwards. They're like hiding under your car, make a hole like in the bottom of your car, and they'll cut your Achilles tendon on like both your feet so you can't run away, and then do what they want with you, which is like the most terrifying thing ever.
Yeah. So the way I heard was through Brandon was talking about I think me and Kyle one day were talking about the AIDS brigade.
The what?
You never heard of that?
No.
This is a real thing. So there's a bunch of people who have AIDS that like they're kind of like, I guess, psychotic or whatever, and
I don't know how to tell.
their view is that because they have AIDS and there's no savior for them, that their only like thing is to bring other people down. These are like, you know, obviously just like the weirdest people, but so they grab needles of their own blood and will stab it into people to give you AIDS.
What?
No, this is real, and it's usually at like huge places like Coachella, like big music festivals, big crowds. There's like people that go around and literally do this to spread AIDS on purpose. They're just like sick, messed up people. And so we were talking about this, and Brandon tells about the Achilles cutters, and obviously it was pretty frightening. But also what he said is like, to stay under your car and stuff at these big places, big events, as like a similar thing, except for I think theirs, he said, was like kind of based on like, I think it was one of the Saw movies or something, and they were just like got into super gross stuff, and it really does happen. Like you can look up cases of that.
That's awful.
I might look it up right now.
Are you gonna look it up right now?
I'm gonna look it up right now. See if I can find a funny story.
That doesn't sound funny. That just sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Like, excuse me, it's been a long day. I've been at school all day, and now I'm here, and I'm ready for a nap, honestly, but I'm here. I'm doing my ish.
Didn't come after under Achilles Cutters, because I feel like that's not actually what the name is, but now I'm gonna have to think.
Honestly, I'm lost right now. I don't remember what I'm supposed to do. Maybe. I'm lost. I don't know what to do. Help me.
Help me, Tom Cruise. Help me, baby Jesus. Help me, baby infant Jesus that's still in preschool learning his shapes.
Dear Lord, baby Jesus, blonde hair, blue-eyed, 8 pound, 6 ounce baby Jesus, we praise you for this meal of Mountain Dew, Pizza Hut, Cool Ranch Doritos, and the blueberry rush of Powerade. That's quite refreshing. I thank you for my smoking hot wife, woo, my teammate, Shake and Bake,
Shake and bake.
and my 2 gorgeous sons, Walker and Texas Ranger.
You literally have this line for line.
I also like to thank you for my wife's dad-in-law, whatever you call it, I forgot. Uncle Jeff. No, Uncle Jeff. It's Uncle Jeff. No, it's Grandpa Jeff. Grandpa Jeff. He may not be able to talk so good, but we still love him. We thank you for his time. I prefer the baby Jesus with a full beard and like in a tux t-shirt. Like, I'm not really here to be formal, but I'm also here to party and be formal.
Well, let me just say this last thing. This may not be our first episode, so I know what to say. If you ain't first, you're last. I feel like this is one of those games that tells you literally nothing about what to do.
It does, but I've been just like, skip.
Yeah.
Well,
I have barely been paying attention to what's going on in the game.